It comes down to this. 1 week remaining NBL 22. Hello, wherever you might be. We are NBL Overtime. Hashtag NBL Overtime to get involved. Melbourne United look like they've wrapped up the number 1 seed leading into the playoffs, but so much more to play out. Homicide in the house, and you won't believe it. You got yourself, are they Jack Jumper shorts?
Jack Jumper vibes all day in this seat. And Ben Air vibes all day.
Boom, we'll get to both of those. Well, one franchise and one player very shortly. Liam Santa Maria, best broadcaster in the game. Studs and duds, of course, nbl.com.au. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Another cracking week. And this is what we want every year. We want it all to come down to the final round. It might come down to the final game. So a lot to discuss.
All right, let's get into it. What matters and what doesn't. Let's just straight up get into it. Who we got getting in, because this is going to be big. Of course, as I mentioned, Melbourne looked like they probably 99% have wrapped up top spot due to that percentage, regardless of what happens on the weekend. The Kings and Orgs go against each other on Saturday night. That's going to be huge. The Wildcats, well, they play Illawarra and South East Melbourne Phoenix, which Liam just alluded to. The Jack Jumpers at home to Melbourne United on Sunday. The Phoenix are done and dusted. We'll talk about their off-season in a moment as well. I'm going to go to you first, Homicide. Who have you got making it from here?
Look, I'd be an absolute fool. I'd be an absolute fool to go against the Wildcats 2 games at home with their back literally against the wall. As great as the Jack Jumpers are playing, and, you know, that's my team.
Yeah.
But I just find it very difficult to go against the Wildcats losing out and not making a top 4. I got the Wildcats in.
Yeah, I've got the Wildcats in as well. 2 tough games. Tough games. Illawarra, South East Melbourne going to play loose and free and without the weight of the world on their shoulders, which has been an issue for them over the last month or so. And Melbourne United... Dean Vickerman says, there you see the schedule for the upcoming week. That middle game, Saturday, Tassie versus Melbourne. Dean Vickerman says, I'm not a guy who goes about games looking to lose. Everyone's going to play as if they're not injured, and we're going to go about that game looking to win. So no easy game there for the Jack Jumpers. Just the fact that we're here. Thank you to Adelaide for beating Perth to enable this kind of situation where it's going to come down to this Cinderella team, Tassie, up against the absolute behemoth that is the Perth Wildcats for that spot. Incredible.
I got one thing to ask.
Of course.
What is the status with Vic Law's injury? Because if Vic Law does not play, that adds that much more pressure and drama. Man, listen, like I said, I'd be an absolute fool, even without Vic Law, to go against Perth Wildcats at home. But these are 2 ginormous games, man.
Scans, minus the scans today. We're recording this obviously the morning of Tuesday. Scans today, and the results of which will tell us more about whether he's going to play or not. And if he doesn't play, I mean, this is a 35-year history on the line right now this week.
If they don't make finals,
they'll make it.
If they don't,
Okay.
Is that coach's job on the line?
No.
This is a good question.
They did.
I'm just asking. Is ScoMo's job on the line if they do not make finals? Let's keep going.
I don't think no. I don't think it is. But
I'm just asking.
You can't miss the finals if you're a Wildcat.
I'm just asking.
You can't do it.
Now, I believe they'll make it, like I said. However, this is a big pressure situation if Vic Law doesn't play. He's their second enforcer, right? He's their second. If he does not play because he's injured, that's the second enforcer out.
They're in all kinds of trouble.
Cotton ain't playing his best right now. And Michael Frazier mentally is probably checked out because y'all wanted to get rid of me anyway. So why would I go hard right now?
Well, he went hard.
Y'all?
He went hard Saturday night. Probably played his best game.
I'm just saying.
I think the fact that we're having this conversation.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's amazing.
Well, beautiful for us.
Can I shout out the Wildcats for their 40th year celebrations? The jersey was cool.
I want those warm-up pants. I think I could rock those.
Well,
this was all good. It was great that Jesse Wagstaff was able to celebrate his 400th game there.
Shout out to Jesse
with family,
Wagstaff,
Ricky
man.
Grace involved, all of that jazz. Legends in the building. and they got the job done. Great to see Bryce Cotton bounce back. We love watching Bryce Cotton perform like this. 22 points, 10 assists, takeover mode. But, oh my goodness, this really should be a celebration of this Tasmania Jack Jumpers team. Corey, you were so right about this team. I was wrong about them twice. I was wrong at the start of the season when I said their job is to try to not finish last.
Yeah.
That sounds ridiculous now.
Well, now it does, but at the time...
I was wrong about them when Will Magnay went down. I said, you guys have been good defensively, but it's all going to come falling down right now. They got 16 wins. Every other year they're in the finals right now. So just massive kudos to everybody involved in that organisation. The players, Scott Roth, his coaching staff, the fans, Corey.
16.
Massive.
We've spoken about this a lot. 16 without their marquee player. Without Will Magnay, who is their main dude. It is an incredible story, and they get an opportunity Saturday night for their fans to at least one last time pack the joint. You got the number 1 seed and the reigning champions rolling in the town. You got a perfect opportunity to put it into your palm, because I think Illawarra will beat Perth Thursday night, right? So it's still going to be alive come Saturday. Tasmanian fans, I'm assuming it's going to be a little chilly down there on a Saturday night based on the weather in the rest of the country. Pack the joint out. I want to see a sold-out sign. I want to see people out the front begging to be able to buy a ticket.
Passion, baby. That's passion right there.
Now, I don't know if scalping's illegal in Tasmania. I assume it is. But I want to see someone. I want to see somebody. I don't want to see anyone sell it, but I want to see someone have a sign out the front. We'll pay good cash for 2 tickets. Now, on that, don't sell them the tickets because it's illegal. But that's the type of passion and crowd I want to see on Saturday night.
Oh, don't
and you're
worry.
right, it is cool.
You'll get it.
Cool.
Hey, this tweet from Paolo Kennedy just today.
Go on.
Since 1990, there have been 12 new teams or clubs returning from a hiatus. They have an average winning record of 30%. Only Tassie has reached 500. And only Tassie have finished inside the top 6. Massive kudos to everybody involved.
I just want to, and I can't remember exactly every single team on paper that was involved there.
Yeah.
We could just liken it to South East Melbourne Phoenix, who 2 years ago, or 3 years ago when they entered the league, on paper was a lot stronger roster than this, and this is where we get our assumptions from, and what South East Melbourne Phoenix did last year was extraordinary. And we gave them as many pats on the back as they deserved. In fact, they probably deserved more. They've done this in the first year, and I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, Liam, that you mentioned. No one had this team outside of this guy doing what they've done. And not even close. You said 14, and everyone scoffed at you. They got 16, maybe 17.
You got this bang on right. What did you see?
What I saw was that dynamic backcourt. I said that backcourt is as good as any backcourt in this league. I would take that. Will Magnay, when he's playing his best, right, he's going to control the boards. And I said offensively, he'd be able to give you at least 12, 14 points a game. That's what I figured going in. So that's your 3 right there. The role players would have to just do their part. But I just said with that backcourt, he's going to give them the green light. Early, it was tough because they needed to find the balance. But once they found the balance and the belief in everybody else, they started rolling. So, I know, like, you're as good as the guards that you have in this league. So if they were able to just Josh Majette, run the floor, he can hit the 3, and you said he was going to lead in assists, and he probably is leading in assists, right? Close.
Probably win it, yeah.
Right. But he's a legit floor general. You can put him up against anybody in this league. The numbers are there, and how he can hit the 3, so he stretches the floor, and he can create. So if he can get in those pockets, and Will Magnay, man, got to step up. He can feed him easy lobs and dunks and things of that nature. And Josh Adams, I saw that first game. The first couple of games, I was like, yo, he's a gun. I didn't know him before he got here. I heard about him. But once I saw how he played, I was like, all right, he'll be able to. Once he finds a groove, he's tough. And he showed. I saw them live Sunday. Up close and personal, and I was thoroughly impressed. He had a great game. McVay had a great game. We knew McVay could score. He just needed good opportunities. So they had a little bit of parts. I didn't believe in a lot of the role players, but I knew this team could be competitive. I didn't know they would be 17 or whatever, but I knew they could be competitive, and they were.
I think it's a good point you make about Josh Majette. I think he's been underrated, the influence he's had on the success of this team. Because we talk about how great a job they do collectively, they work so... He's the head of that snake, he's the floor general on the floor. And the way they control the tempo, Every game involving the Jack Jumpers, every game this season has been played at their tempo. And that's the whole group defensively, but it's Josh Majette, particularly at the offensive end. And then you use that word balance. I think Scott Roth has struck the perfect balance this season of filling his guys with confidence, but also keeping everybody accountable. To do both of those things at the same time,
very difficult,
especially on a brand new team, is really, really difficult, and he's done it brilliantly.
Last thing on the Jack Jumpers. I know the state of Tasmania just lost a premier a couple of weeks ago. If Scott Roth was to run for it, he'd win it. Let's talk about Adelaide, because they went to Perth on Thursday night. They did the Perth-Sydney double, 2 teams we expect to play playoffs, and they belted Perth from the opening tip, and they were just as impressive, in particular late on Sunday. I want to ask you straight up, Homicide, Dusty Hannahs. When he's aggressive, the much different player, much different team. He was aggressive coming back off the bench on Thursday night, and likewise on Sunday.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. Under pressure, he wasn't the guy. That's the reality of it. With no pressure, he's playing free. As an import, I get it. Season's done. I got to find a way to finish off strong. So for me, when I pack my bags and go elsewhere, I can leave this place confident regardless of how choppy and inconsistent the season was. And he did that. He was very impressive in this last round.
What do we take out of it?
I don't take nothing out of it. I don't take nothing else out of it.
Out of what, for him or for the team?
Yeah,
or
for him and the team.
Both. But more the team for you.
These are great signs. This is a great way to finish the season. You go to Perth, you beat Perth. You go to Sydney, you break their 13-game winning streak. And you credit CJ Bruton massively for this. You know, it's been a rough year, and he's kind of learning on the go here in his first season as an NBL head coach. But to have these guys still motivated, especially the veterans, Mitch McCarron, Sunday Dech, Daniel Johnson, these guys playing at this level to finish the season when it's all done and dusted, I think that's a real credit to this team and to those guys. So they're going to need to do a bit of an upheaval with the roster over the course of the off-season. Sure, not all of those guys are going to be there. Dusty Hannahs isn't going to be there. But nonetheless, this is the way you want to finish the season.
I'd be more frustrated watching us play this way, knocking off these type of teams on the road. And I'd be, again, more frustrated because of the fact that I wasn't able to do this when it really mattered. But I'd leave more frustrated in a situation like that.
But you mentioned a perfect example of that, right? And this is exactly what sport is. It's such a mental battle at different times. To be able to find that right balance between playing loose and not carefree, but feel a little more carefree when the pressure is well and truly off. And that's what Adelaide were able to do. You can't do that in the first or second game of the year. As an athlete, you'd be able to tell me better than most. Like, it's not easy to play that particular way when it actually matters. Not to say that the games don't matter, but like clearly something is different because Adelaide can roll out and we got house money, we've got nothing to lose type thing. That's how they play. But in games 2, 3, 4, 5 of the year...
You know what? You know what that comes down to?
Tell me.
Go find mental warriors. Go find guys when you in the trenches, and you got to claw your way out. You got those guys. It's too many times you hear, I want guys that fit culture. That's cool, but these guys are not mental warriors. So what do you got? A losing season. You keep that mentality, it's not going to change. Go find mental warriors. When they backs against the wall, they show you who they really are. Done.
Hey, I agree with you. Josh Adams, Josh Majette, 2 good examples. They were 2 and 6. They were in the trenches at that point, and they fought their way through. But what would you prefer? Adelaide splinter and don't care down the stretch and play? You can have had a terrible season.
I don't prefer
They've
none
been
of it.
unsuccessful.
It's frustrating either way.
But it's still a good way to finish the year.
Agreed. I also say this about Adelaide, and there's plenty of
when
expectations
are high.
But expectations were high based on Isaac Humphrey's playing, right?
You guys
my
your
expectations.
I didn't think they'd make the 4, but I also didn't expect them to probably be where they are, right?
Of course
but
not, man.
Had Isaac Humphreys, and again, he has struggled at different times, Cam Bairstow, to put together full season. So there's always tinged with that uncertainty when you sign players like this. But you also, I'm a glass half full guy, had Isaac Humphreys have played the whole year, it'd be a little bit, I don't think they'd be top 4, but I'd be a lot more confident about Adelaide going forward into the new season than I am, based on majority of the season, not just weekend, which was really good. But it also asks and begs the question, Corey, Did Liam find him a little higher in the power rankings, of course, at Liam Santa, to fire any constructive criticism his way. Let's have a look. Have you moved him?
I sure have.
Oh, jeez. Nearly got him in the 4.
Come on.
Gee, this is like when they won the preseason tournament. Homicide made them, they'll make the playoffs now. And then 2 days later, they're gone.
It's taken to the very end of the season for me to give Adelaide a little bit of love. But there they are. You beat Perth in Perth. You beat Sydney.
Those are 2 big wins.
Hottest team in the league.
They were 2 big wins.
In front of
for
10,000, both of those arenas, hostile environments, 13-game winning streak. Right now, that's the team playing at a really high level.
True. At Liam Santa. Red Army in particular. All right, let's get into this because leading to last Thursday night, you had a really, really, really hot team in Sydney and you had a really, really hot team in Illawarra. We don't need to make any bones about the rivalry or the fact that at different times over the last couple of years in particular, they've thrown a couple verbal and physical barbs towards each other when they got a little messed up on court earlier in the season. And this delivered. Too often in sport, we pump it up. And then the contest just does not deliver. But this went bang, bang, bangity bang for 45 minutes, Homicide, and it was so fun to watch.
It was a beautiful game to call. This was the best game of the year. 2 teams who don't like each other. 2 teams that are playing in fantastic form. One team was not able to beat the other all season. And to find each other playing at their best, this is exactly what you wanted to see. It lived up to the hype. Dejan Vasiljevic murdered them, destroyed them. They had no answer for him. That man right there, Jarrell Martin, went to work. Xavier Cooks, another fantastic game. But that man right there on screen, oh my goodness. Liam, was that you and I calling this game?
Yes, it was.
No! Oh, the overtime. Oh, my bad.
35.
Thanks for reminding me.
He killed them. They had no answer for him. They took away the 3. Ooh. He made all the right reads. I mean, you want to talk about a perfect game as an individual? Tyler Harvey pretty much had a perfect game, except missing that one shot to nail it in regular season.
Regulation.
Regular game. Regulation.
You are.
Jalen Adams.
You are excited.
Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
They played great defense on him, and he still found ways to pick them apart. Liam, take it from there.
Well, Ian Clark, big time down the stretch. Jalen Adams barely played in overtime. Ian Clark, Jarrell Martin at the offensive end. But you said they had no answer for Tyler Harvey. They had no answer until Jalen Adams put his hand up and said, I want that matchup.
He manned up.
You talk about killers.
He manned up.
You talk about guys with that type of mentality.
He manned up.
He's been doing that at the offensive end. And then to put his hand up and say, I know I'm going to need to carry this team at the ball in fourth quarters. It's going to be in my hands. It wasn't in the end because he cramped. But I also want that job defensively. Wani, we love him. He just hasn't been able to get the job done. And he made it tough.
He made it tough for him.
And that's all you needed to do down the stretch. Yeah. He missed some key looks. They knocked down shots down the other end. That rivalry, all 3 games.
That's real.
This season, between those teams have been elite. And I think there's a very good chance we're going to see it in the first round of the finals. Who's going to have home court advantage? It's going to be fascinating. They play in this final round. That New South Wales matchup is a beautiful thing.
Well, we are going to see it. There's no way it can't be not Illawarra v Sydney, right?
Well, hold on.
What if Illa loses out?
If Illa loses both.
And Perth win both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If I'm Illa?
No.
No.
Nah.
No, come on, man. You can't mess around with it if
Dean
you're
Vickerman
anybody.
spoke about it. You just don't miss around with it.
I want Melbourne United. They can't beat them. United cannot beat Illawarra. I done seen it.
Okay, let's break that down for a second. You're saying in the final round, manipulate the results.
What I'm saying is lose out so what happens is your matchups are better going forward. That's what I'm saying. Why would I take a harder route? I'm going to lose out. Teams do that all the time.
No.
Yeah, manipulate the results so my matchups are favorable. Why would you want to go into something harder?
Nah, shades of Angola. Let's not do that.
I'm just asking you a question. Why would you want to go into a harder matchup if it doesn't favor you?
On Melbourne.
I would never do that.
They wrapped it up. They went 2-6
New
over
Zealand
the
did
weekend.
it, but they lost.
Yeah, well...
New Zealand, remember when Edgar Sosa was here? New Zealand did it. They lost out to play Melbourne.
Yeah.
There's a
and
lot
then
of examples
Castle went.
of
what happened?
teams trying to do that and losing out.
Melbourne put them to the sword, and they also put a
them to
couple
the
of teams
sword.
on the weekend to the sword. Brisbane Saturday night, Monday night against Cairns. They a 99% wrapped up top spot, back-to-back minor champions for the first time since 2012-13, as John Casey tweeted last night. And they found a little bit more of their mojo. Those two losses you touch on in the last couple of weeks were both against Illawarra. But outside of that, champion teams and teams that expect to win or at least contend for a championship, win games when they might not be in the greatest of form. I don't think they've been in the greatest of form the last month, but they're winning games that they should have. And Chris Goulding, I thought last night, this is what he has done for such a long period of time. When he needed to get going in that second quarter, he went to work and the game was essentially done.
Yeah, Chris Goulding's a game breaker. He has stretches of games. He had stretches in both of these games where he tore it apart. Shea Ili's a game breaker at the defensive end. Chris Goulding offensively. This is a really great effort by them over the course of the season.
Huge.
Back-to-back regular season titles, the defending champs taking care of business. And, you know, we talk about you being right about the Jack Jumpers. Humility aside for a second, I was bang on about Melbourne United. In the pre-season, people are talking about no Jock Landale, no Scotty Hobson, no Mitch McCarron. You've lost all this talent. Some people were saying this team was going to miss the finals. And I just never saw it with this team. Dean Vickerman at the helm, all this championship experience, the defensive pieces that they have put together, they were always going to be genuine championship contenders, and they are that right now. And if we had to pick and get it right to save our life right now, I'd pick Melbourne United for the title.
Yeah, well, if we're bragging, I had Melbourne and Sydney in the grand final. I'm well and truly on the way to that going.
You did say City was going to win the whole thing.
I did, and I think home court advantage
And
is going
so
to be
you still feel that?
I still feel they're the two best teams in the league.
No. You still feel Sydney for the title?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jarrell Martin.
Got to get it on the record.
Just soreness, right? Fatigue. They really missed him on Sunday,
Really
Jarell
missed him.
Martin. I picked him as my MVP. Now, he's not going to be, but he has been huge, and I think Sunday was a really good example of that. They couldn't keep Adelaide off the offensive glass, and time and time again, the 36ers got chances. Talking chances, let's talk Benny Ayre, because late in the year, people have to stand up. Doesn't matter if you're a young kid or an import, you've got to stand up and show you deserve another gig. And Ben Ayre last night into the starting lineup, and he was good. Not only did he play well, but he had a great deal of energy. He was talking a little bit of us smack every now and then as well. He played really well. And I know you tweeted about him, Homicide. You liked him going at his work last night.
He didn't play good. He had a great game. 20 points, 10 assists.
Look at that.
2 steals. Hit about 4 threes. And 5 rebounds. Fantastic game, and I'm going to tell you why. He did it against the number 1 team in the league, the defending champs. He did it against some of the best on-ball defenders at that point guard position. Was not rattled. He had 1 turnover in the game. Okay? When was the last time he even got on the court to play this many minutes? Scott Machado goes down, he gets a real opportunity. I know he played at Knox, and I was glad that I called the game yesterday because the hard work he's put in throughout the years to never get a legit chance, and you get a chance. His name was not even on the roster.
On the sheet?
I was like, yo, Statty, like, who is this guy? I need some information on him because the way he's playing, I need to know who he is. Here's what I know about courage and heart. He went to the basket. Was it and it wasn't JLA, it was Hug Porty, blocked him. Then Hug Porty went like this, like he's too little. The next play, he got the ball and went right back at him again. That takes courage because I know a lot of imports who wouldn't do that, let alone a local player who gets basically no playing time. That goes to show the heart and courage that he has. And then he got under Chris Goulding's skin. Chris Goulding gets a tech. Because it's like, yo, wait a minute, yo, you're going too hard. Like, you're doing a little bit too much. Here's the ball. That's the best shooting guard in the NBL. That's the NBL champion, grand final MVP. You get under his skin because actually you're interrupting the show Chris is putting on. They start drawing, so that's just a sign of respect. Then the crowd start booing him. Do you understand how many things happen in this game? I say all that to say this. He deserves a full opportunity next season as a backup in this league because he's better than some backups in this league right now. Because tell me, backups in this league right now, 20 and 10, 5 and 2, 4 threes hit. Tell me.
Listen.
He deserves a full roster spot contracted somewhere, just off his heart and his courage alone.
Yeah.
You got 15 seconds before Liam Santa's watching.
Let me just add to what you're loving about him. Joey Wright called Adam Ford and said, call this kid, you're going to love him. He called him, said, I can't offer you any money, but you can come up and train. The kid organised a job in Cairns. I say kid, he's 26. A job in Cairns, came up, trained with the team, got hurt, was in a leg brace for 2 months this season. Didn't quit, didn't go home. Then the opportunity arrived. And he's grasped it with 2 hands.
And that's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Joey Wright. He hit me and told me he used to train with him in Adelaide.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I know you got to go to Santa's watching, but that's a mental warrior.
Yeah.
That right there. That's what teams need. A guy like that. That's what I'm talking about. Somebody sign him. Shout out to Ben Ayre.
Hard to disagree. Well, thanks to Amy. Santa's watching. Let's do it.
All right, well, let's, short, sharp. Santa's watching. All thanks to Amy, and we're going to start. This.
Yo, fam.
Come on, we spent the whole year.
Come on, fam.
We spent the whole year.
Fam.
Talking about these shots, and my man's just couldn't get it done.
That's your insurance policy. Get someone who's never touched a basketball before.
There's Mason Peeling just going for a little slide along the floor just to finish the third quarter. Hey, my man wants it up. Throw it up,
man.
bitch. Mate, he wanted it up. And ScoMo got a Falcon of his own. There go the glasses.
And the nation cheers.
For the PM. It's all over.
All thanks to Amy. Let's get into... we have run out a bit of time. We were meant to look at Southeast Melbourne, Phoenix and Brisbane. We might need to push that to next week.
Okay.
Because all thanks to JD Sports, the undisputed king of trainers. Let's have a look at our JD sneaker of the week. And it's a very good cause as well. That's Mitch Creek rolling the shoes now. A teammate of his... Cohen Sapwell designed them. It's for Are You OK, which of course Are You OK Day, and it's a wonderful initiative that continues to grow each and every year to allow men to start to talk and have a conversation and ask the question of which, unfortunately, probably in past generations in particular, we've been too proud to do. So Are You OK? It's good, be it a tap on the shoulder, a phone call, a text message, or just a coffee, and a wonderful shoe designed by Sapwell and one worn by Mitch Creek over the weekend. So that's our sneaker of the week. All thanks to JD Sports, the undisputed king of traders. Have a look at these. They're launching the Air Jordan 6 Acid Wash Denim. Have a look. Denim. The women's and kids exclusive gives one of Jordan's iconic signature models a fashion-forward twist. Have a look at that. They launched this Friday, the 22nd of April. As I've told you a million times, if you haven't got the app, I cannot help you, but you've got to do it right now. I'll help you one last time. JD AU app online from Friday. Now, we've got about 90 seconds, so I just want to quickly raise this. We're not going to do a deep dive. We've got the Mitch Creek comment out there, the comments that he has made. That is pretty much, I'll paraphrase it if we haven't got them. He said, a lot of talk around it. If I'm in the NBL, it's at Southeast Melbourne, Phoenix. What'd you make of it, Liam Santamaria? There it is there on the screen. There you go.
Well, the if is the big word, isn't it? That's what's going to grab everyone's attention. But I think it couldn't be clearer. Hands off if you're every other NBL team. He's made it perfectly clear. That's the NBL team he's going to be with if he's in this league.
Love it.
Yeah?
Everything Liam said.
Yeah.
He's the foundation piece.
Yeah. He is.
So you love that loyalty.
That's right.
You know they'll come to the table.
Yeah.
Was it why
See
move?
how it plays out. I understand they're very, 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 very deep in negotiation.
Okay, so deep as in they're trying to have to really get it over the line, or deep as in they're getting close to that signature being on the paper? Matt Logue reported last week that he believes it's imminent, the deal.
Yeah, I believe it's imminent.
Okay.
I think he was bang on.
Okay. All right, there you go. Hashtag NBL, overtime to get involved at NBL. This is exciting. What game are you most looking forward to?
Perth. Both those Perth games, man.
Perth Illawarra.
Oh.
The result of that is going to make things very interesting.
I'm looking forward to Sydney Illawarra. Big shout out to the celebs, of which we never got an invite.
Fair enough too.
Yeah, no, it's also fair. Well, one of us I thought might have, but that's not me.
Big names.
Just know my man Nick Kyrgios ready.
Yeah,
he about to light it up.
Oh, there we go.
He ready. He gonna show y'all he really does this.
Like this.
Uh-oh.
Hey, ready?
Much.
See ya.
That's nice.